All right, Facebook Live. Here we are once again, Rythmia Life Advancement Center, Guanacaste, Costa Rica. Your host for today's segment, R. Christian Minson. Hello out there. If you're joining in on the recording, know that we will start the content about 4 minutes in, so you can skip to that 4 or 5 minutes in. In the meantime, I usually spend a little time just waiting for some folks to come on, and our first one has arrived. Tina from Finland. Dina, hey, from Colorado, right? And so far 2 up, 4 on. Hi there, Dina. Wave at me, say hi, do whatever. You know the drill. We're saying hi to me, R. Christian Minson, and I'm saying hi back to you, Rachel, Martin, and you can tell me where you're coming from, and I'd be happy to acknowledge that. Hey there, Tina. So when are you coming back, Tina? When Maiku and Ingela are coming, which is March, I believe, March, second week in March, third week in March. I think is Maiku and Ingela, animal communicators, teaching you about animals and your communication with them. So they're from Finland, and they brought a big Finnish contingency. Let's see, hey, Libby, hey, Doreen from LA. Sue, hey there. Nice to see you here. All the way from Australia. Rachel. Tara Lee, Fairbanks, Alaska. Wow, that's far too. You coming here, Tara Lee? Or did you come here already? Let me know. Up some more. Hey, hearts and likes. Beautiful. Thanks. See that. Sven, Dina, 1125. Coming. Stacy Lynn. Hey there. Oh, Stacy Lynn. Hey, it's kind of cool. We have 2 Stacy Lynns right here. Right now, working at Rythmia. So you'll fit right in if you come here, Stacia. All right, we're getting those numbers up, saying hello, tell me where you're from. I'm R. Christian Minson. This is Rythmia Live Breathwork Edition. We're going to get started officially in maybe 1 more minute. Just like to shoot the breeze with all of you coming on and give you time to get a online contingency. I just did ceremony last night. The Thursday night ceremonies is the all-night ceremony. So if I am a little bit on the relaxed side, you'll know it's because I haven't slept in 24 hours. Mel, Tina, I'm coming when Mike and Ingela are having their workshop. Great. So that's in March. I think it's 3rd week in March. And a bonus on that week is that Nessie Gomez, the singer who sings many of the songs that we play in ceremony, she will be here that week too, doing at least singing in 1 ceremony and offering a workshop. Stacy Lynn, I'd love to come. Good. Get over here so you can join the other Stacy Lynns. Shelly Albers, Jamie, hey, good to see you. Jamie just left a little bit ago. How you doing? How's re-entry? All right, so we got a good number of folks, 4-minute mark, so this is where I usually start in saying welcome everybody to Facebook Live, Rythmia Live, Facebook Edition, Breathwork. I'm your host, R. Christian Minson, Catalyst for Your Awakening and Transformation, Director of the Breathwork program here at Rythmia. I'm certified transformational breath facilitator and trainer, been working in the field of breathwork for the last 12 years. Prior to that, I was a monk for 10 years of my life, studying the finer arts of spirituality, meditation, to seek deeper meaning in life. Found it, hightailed it out of there, and now I've been a breathworker ever since. I've been here at Rythmia now as the director of their breathwork program for the last year. In fact, yesterday was my year anniversary. You can send me hearts and likes if you like and say congrats. I will accept them lovingly. And I'll talk about that a little more in here. But yes, I've been here a year. And for those of you who may have heard me say this before, you know, like the thermometer says real feel, it's like 75 degrees out, but real feel is 83 because of all the humidity or the intense sun. Here, being a week at Rythmia is real feel about a month. So if I've been here a year, the real feel is like 4 years. And why is that? Because so much intense activity goes here. We compress into a week 4 weeks worth of information and activity, transformation really, and that's why the program's so successful. I mean, who's got 4 weeks to transform when you could do it in one? Of course, the trick then is sustaining your transformation, and that's partly what our subject is today, igniting your power. And when we're talking about igniting your power, we're talking about tapping into the source of your power and catalyzing it, meaning igniting it, starting that power so that you have access to abundant physical resources, abundant mental and emotional resources, and abundant spiritual energy to accomplish any task or vision or intention that you have. And as you come here to this program, especially, a lot of people get a vision for their lives, a deeper sense of purpose, a deeper sense of the direction they need to be going in. And then we need to muster up the energy to actually traverse in that direction. So I'm getting the congratulations, all these perfect, thanks for the year, making it a year. On that note too, I'd love to have you, I put on I wrote a little wall post on my Facebook page, R. Christian Minson on Facebook. And you can go on my page and see, I list all of the cool thought leaders and special people that I met over the year, and many of them interviewed me too. So I've got a whole list of that and some pictures of me with all these different big names. And it's kind of fun. It's just nice to acknowledge. There's been a lot of deep wisdom come through this place from many different people of very high caliber. So that's just one of the things that Rythmia has to offer. I'm hoping to come in April. I'm so nervous. It's okay. You should be. Nervousness is part of the program, and it means that you're actually alive and somewhat healthy to be a little nervous. The transformation continues even after you leave, Jamie says, and she should know because she just left, and that's it. And igniting your power is really helping you in that realm too. How do we keep the energy going after we've left Rythmia? So why are we talking about igniting your power? As light workers and light warriors, which is who I'm talking to, if you are tuned into this, you, whether you know it or not, are a light worker and a light warrior. Of course, those who've been to the Rythmia program know that they uncover their light during this week and step into the full effulgence of your being, so to speak, as a light warrior and light worker. But as such, as we come out and go into the world, as Jamie said, the transformation continues. Part of that transformation is that we're being called to do greater and greater things, which requires more energy, probably a little bit more energy output than you were used to, because most of us before coming here played a little smaller. Not everybody, there's some big people, but even people who have accomplished great things are playing small in other areas of their lives, like their emotional life or their spiritual life. So when we awaken to the prospects of the potential of who we are, now we start seeing clearly the path we need to trod, and that usually requires a little bit more energy expenditure. I said that I was in Rythmia for a year, and the real feel is like 4 years. And that's because there's an intense energy output. I mean, to think, people who come here to the program, go through the program for a week, but we who live here, who work here, go through the program week after week after week. And you don't have to be going through the program like a guest to be right in the middle of all the transformation. I mean, we're there every step of the way with the guests. So, and We take part in many of the different ceremonies as well. So there's a lot of energy output. And if I don't have a way to ignite that power within me, then burnout is imminent. And in this year, I have learned that the hard way a few times, and have, everything is a process of getting a little off and correcting yourself till you find the direction and stick with it. The power that we're igniting your power is the power to activate your dreams, to accomplish those. Your happiness lies in the effort spent to realize your dreams. And so once again, we want to ignite the power so you can pursue those dreams, that you can put action behind it, because it's really in the action, even if you don't fully accomplish those dreams in the way that you envision and all that, the very act of igniting your power and moving towards those dreams is a fulfilling endeavor. It is one of the foundations, if not the main foundation, of happiness, to work towards a life that is going to be better for you. You guys are great, thanks. Mary Elise, I will be there this Sunday. Excellent, we will see you. Make sure you introduce yourself to me and say hi, that you were on the Facebook Live. So, all right, so again, these dreams and ultimately beyond your own personal dreams, this power is important because it's your power to contribute to the world. Especially once you awaken to your light warriorness, you realize that there's what our shaman Mitra was saying last night is a payment for life. When we go into these ceremonies, in some ways we're offering a payment. Sometimes it comes in the form of purging or going through, having to go through rough patches. That's the payment for the benefits that this offers in our lives, which is really catalyzing or igniting the energy or the power within you. So, the importance of this is because, to contribute to the world, to our dharma, if you will, that thing that we were uniquely brought into this planet to do and be. And I'll tell you in a nutshell what that is, because everybody's always looking for their purpose in life. And the basic foundation is this: your purpose is to leave the world in a better place than you found it, right? To evolve the world, which essentially means to evolve yourself, evolve your soul. And then when you're at the point of being able to help others, to help them evolve too, to leave the world a little bit better than how you arrived in it. And I've found that my mission statement that really encompasses the action behind that is simply to love people. Like, if you can make a practice of loving people as the main purpose for your existence, you get up in the morning, what am I going to do today? Well, you're going to frame it from the perspective, I'm going to love people. And so that may, make you choose one path versus the other. And I guarantee you, loving people isn't as easy as it sounds, because there's plenty of people that are easy not to love, and those you still have to love if you're really going to take that to heart. So you're so jealous. Wish I could be there in a few years. Yeah, well, you make that intention, Alkis, and you will start saving. Put a little money here and there as you can see fit. Before you know it, you're here. You can also, of course, join all the contests we have to try to win free trips, and people do. We got somebody who's here this week on a free trip because they won it in a contest. So back to the point here. These are the whys. Why we're really looking at this idea of igniting our power. As light workers and light warriors, we have a new sense of mission and purpose and almost responsibility, if you will, to go out there and shine our light. And you need energy. Light bulbs don't just shine without energy behind them. So that's why we're talking about igniting our power. So what our power really is in an ultimate sense is the ability to evolve on a personal level. And so evolution is the name of the game, as I said a little bit earlier. And really learning to love people is kind of how you can help that evolution happen, making the world a better place than when you came in. So how do we do this? Always, who can tell me what I'm going to say next? If you don't remember my credentials, a breath worker for the last 12 years and monk who specialized in meditation techniques, which were really modified breath techniques. So how we really access our power, one of the easiest ways is through breath work, through harnessing and commanding, having a command over our breathing process. Now, this week, Kimberly and Foster Gamble are here. You may know them from Thrive, the Thrive movie, and they're now in the midst of making Thrive 2, and it's set to be out in the next couple of years, but they're intensively here filming, and Rythmia is going to be part of it. It's really a movie based on the solutions that were presented in Thrive 1 and how, it's a much more hopeful movie, it sounds like, as they're really focusing on the solutions to the world problems, of which there are many solutions. They are finding many unorthodox that just haven't seen the light of day because of different suppressions or people not wanting them to come out for their own personal interests. Anyway, they're in Thrive, they talk about this toroidal energy field, which is really the energy field of everything. The Earth has a toroidal field, galaxies have a toroidal field, our bodies, our being has this toroidal energy field, which is like a little donut. And this is where the concept of free energy comes from, because this energy just spins without our doing anything. But sometimes we can get it we can slow it down. Our repressions, our suppressions, our traumas are like resistors. They're like little potentiometers that are dialed down, and so our energy isn't flowing so well. So when we practice breath work, one of the states we're trying to get, the main state we're trying to get into is what we call activation. And what we mean by activation is where the breath starts breathing you, right? So you're putting very little effort or no effort at all into this process, and yet it's just humming along. It's like this dynamo that's now on. And this I liken, going to the Kimberly and Foster Gamble's model of the toroidal energy field, is that we hook in that toroidal field. We sort of, it's like the spark that with the starter engine that starts the car, or a match that starts a spark that then starts the flame. By harnessing our breath to breathwork techniques, all of a sudden we get into this state of activation where we're hooked into the toroidal field, and now that field is generating abundant energy in and of itself. This is sort of the nature of universal energy, and how very rudimentarily put, how free energy devices are able to exist. They tap into this energy field, and so we can tap into that energy field ourselves. And we're also, through breath work, we're tapping into what I call the emotional minefield, meaning that when we have those suppressions and repressions, I was saying that's like a resistor. It's like, if you have a dimmer lights, you put the lights on dim, what that's doing is restricting the flow of electricity, essentially the flow of energy, which, in full flow would make the lights bright. As you dim it down, you've restricted this flow. So now only a little bit gets through and the lights come on just a little bit. So our emotional suppressions and repressions are dimming our light, are dimming our energy output without us actually knowing it in a lot of cases. So we're putting ourselves in a lower energy state by holding on to these things. So by doing breath work, we activate those energies, we bring them to the surface, and we help move them along. So as we release stagnant energies from our field, we become more energized. We ignite that power within us, right? And so, so physically we're activating into the toroidal energy field. Emotionally, we're starting to clear the resistance. And then, then on a spiritual level, how we really ignite that power is to have a spiritual practice. And this came from Mitra today, our shaman in the Thursday night ceremony, authentic Colombian style ceremony that goes on all night. So if you hadn't heard already, that I was in all night celebrating my 1-year anniversary with Rythmia, and that's why I'm a little in the zone. Share a little bit about your monk years. Christopher, I'll see if I can. He's asking if I can share about my monk years. I will mention that I have about 3 Facebook Lives in the archives, as well as in the Rythmia YouTube archives that talk about my monk years. So if I don't get to it today, you can look that up. Why I came, why I left, and just general information about being a monk. So a lot of people find that entertaining, if not spiritually uplifting. Thanks for this video. It's really what I needed to hear at this moment. Thanks, Jenny. I always love to hear that because I do my best to put out topics that I think are relevant to you guys. They're certainly relevant to the spiritual life. Where I get my topics from, if I may digress for a moment, is that I lived a very intense spiritual life for 10 years as a monk. And this may be getting into talking about my monk years a little bit. And, all of these, there's really an emphasis on how to live. And meditation was the cornerstone, or the spiritual practice, getting back to our how at hand. And Mitra was saying what a spiritual practice is anything that exposes us to our relationship to our spirit. So I thought this was great, and a great thing to share today, because meditation is obviously a spiritual practice. Well, obvious to me anyway, as I practice it for so long. But I think a lot of people understand that meditation is one of those ways that we access spirit. So we are in experience with spirit as we meditate. Breath work is another one of those vehicles that allows us to have a direct experience of spirit. And this is a spiritual practice, one that gives you a direct experience of your relationship with spirit. If it's not doing that, it's not truly a spiritual practice. So you can chant mantras up the wazoo and all this, but if you're not making that connection, it's not actually a spiritual practice. So whatever exposed you to spirit, meditation, breath work, plant medicine does this, all right? And this is what a lot of people discover. Plant medicine and breath work are the shortcuts to your awakening. And that's why this program is so successful, why we can compress 4 weeks worth of experience into 1 week, because we're using these shortcuts. The plant medicine really gets you in direct contact with spirit, so you can get some important downloads. Of course, then the real trick is to live that in your life. And part of it ties into, again, our topic here, igniting your power so you can continue to fuel those endeavors that you're being called to do, that you're being intuitively guided to follow the paths of. And so another way, let's see, Suda, love it, glad you're in the zone. Yeah, I don't know, it's sort of the 50-yard stare zone, but I feel like I'm coherent. If I'm not, I'm sure somebody will tell me. Debbie, are you trying to say hi to me? Because you said hi, Christine. They are really useful. Excellent. Hi. Yes. Debbie, hi to you. Good. Arriving tomorrow. All right, Chris. Say hi to me when you get here. Back on track. So prayer is another thing that came up today. There was a little recording that came on. prayer. Prayer is the feeling of the unknown presence. So think about this. Prayer is not just reciting words mindlessly, but it's truly embodying this feeling of the unknown presence, becoming a little more known. And it said, make prayer just like breathing, meaning that we're in such a constant state of prayer that we're in this constant relationship to that unknown presence, which is really what I call the source in context of what we're talking about here, the source of all your power. And through prayer, we can ignite that power. And so we make it just like breathing, meaning that we're constantly in that prayer or that ignition of power, then it's always with us. The idea that came, sort of as one of the final ideas in the ceremony today, and I like that I get to draw a little wisdom from being directly there, is that, what we're really doing is we're taking all the light blips of our experience, meaning looking at your experience, whether, like we were talking specifically about the ceremony last night, but take any span of time of your experience and look for all the light, all the things that you did accomplish, all the good that was there. Draw that stuff back into your heart, and anchor it there, and recognize, and don't pay attention to what you didn't do or the darker things that were in your experience. By focusing on the light, we expand the light. So you expand what you focus on, right? So if you focus on the darkness, you're going to expand that darkness. So we're talking about expanding that light. Mitra also said today, live life intensely. And I like this again in context of what I was going to talk about, igniting your power, because when you live life intensely, it's like you're calling upon your resources. You're saying, hey, I need more resources. I'm going for it. I don't necessarily know where they're coming from, but I'm going for it. And that I found more than anything in life is you have to activate your energy first before energy comes and fulfills you. So it's like live life intensely. Get out there and use your energy. And that necessitates you activating the source and being able to replenish it. And as they say, necessity is the mother of invention. When you're using your energy at exponential rates, you need to find a replenishing source, and that helps you ignite that just naturally. Hey Brady, hey Alkis, you're going all right. And then really, I talked about this a little bit earlier with the attenuator and potentiometer, but let go of resistance. So it's really this resistance, which is often our emotional experiences or our suppressions or whatever, that act as this light dimmer that cause us, to dial back the amount of energy that can then filter through into our lives. And if we're in resistance, we're spending a tremendous amount of energy to create resistance. All right, so energy has to fight. We have to utilize energy to fight against energy coming through. So not only are we causing less energy to come through, but the energy that's coming through, we're using to suppress, the energy coming through. So we're really inefficient vehicles of energy at that point in time. So, so that really is one of the main points. So how we really ignite our power. Breath work is at the forefront of this. Tapping into physically that toroidal energy field, tapping in emotionally to the suppressions and emotional minefields and blowing those minds and getting the resistance out, and then spiritually finding practices that connect you, whether it's meditation, breath work, anything that keeps you connected to the field of spirit. And all of that activates your energy in a balanced way. Then we're really talking about a balanced physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual energy balance that gives you the greatest power in your life. So I'm getting close to the end. Today's a little bit quicker in terms of content I have. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them. I want to say that, just in closing my thoughts, what if you regularly worked on igniting your power? What would be the results be? Your power really is the balance of all those dimensions of your being: physical, emotional, mental, spiritual. And when you're in balance, you're able to get more done. Just like balance helps life flow, and that helps the energy flow. You feel more aligned. You feel more aligned with your emotions. You feel more connected to your source, to the beginning of that energy or that power itself, and you feel more on purpose. So all these, really result from the practice of balancing your energies and working to ignite your power in your life. And let's see some comments. Thank you. If you have trouble meditating, will plant medicine work? Good question, Sheila. So plant medicine and or breath work, probably a combination of the two, especially, which is essentially the Rythmia program. If you have trouble meditating, I'll say with breath work especially, that I often position it as a great precursor to meditation, a great thing that's going to help you clear the pathway so that when you sit down to meditate, you actually can establish a meditative connection. But for those who really have difficult, breathwork itself can induce many of the states that create a meditative mindset. Plant medicine can do the same thing. Again, plant medicine and breathwork are the shortcuts to this awakening. But as I'm, as my life is borne out, and that I learned from Greg Braden, we have the awakening phase of our process, and then we have the mastery phase. And largely, when you come to Rythmia, you're here to awaken. Unless you're a repeat offender, if you're coming here again and again, that's because now you're on the mastery phase and you've decided to come back for a brush up, a dusting off, a deeper dive, just to replug into the community, to re-energize you. One of the other ways that you can ignite your power, be around like-minded people who are going to encourage you and who are going to help you stay on track with your desires to ignite that power. And Jamie, yes, breathwork took me to that quiet, still meditative state. So there you go, Sheila. Jamie is answering it for you. Breathwork will help. Plant medicine will definitely help, though oftentimes it's not as tranquil as meditation. A lot of times, both breathwork and plant medicine are first doing some clearing. They're really helping clear the path of all the debris of all our past experiences that no longer serve us. We're getting rid of those, and then you've got a clear shot to that higher source. So, any other? Sheila, thank you. Well, so here we are at the top of the hour. Well, top of the half hour, essentially. But at the bottom of all the things that I had to say for today. Again, if you got any questions, while I'm fielding any last questions, let me say that you can friend me on Facebook Live. On Facebook, my profile is R Christian Minson, the letter R Christian Minson, and all I ask if you do friend me is that you send a message that says why you're friending me. That you saw me on Rythmia Live and you want to continue the conversation. You're interested in this subject, whatever. But friend request with a message equals me approving that message. Friend request without a message, likely I won't get to it for a long time, if ever. So that being said, go to my wall too and see my post on my 1-year anniversary and all the great things that happened in this year here at Rythmia. Like I said earlier, it really was like living 4 years in one. And the amount of growth was exponential for me. I couldn't think of a better place to be when we talk about purpose and igniting your power and all this. I've landed in a place that truly fulfills my purpose, my dharma. Why I'm here on this planet is in the exact type of service that I offer here at Rythmia, and that's very energizing in and of itself. Being here, we're here. I'm no stranger to transformation and continue to work on myself. And as far as I'm concerned, it's a lifelong process. So those of us who work here at Rythmia are as equally in it as you guys are. Maybe we're a few steps ahead, but that's why we can lead you in this then. Hey, Mary joins just in time for me to say goodbye. So with that, our Christian Minson signing off. I'll see you guys next week with another exciting topic. So until then, breathe, be kind to each other, and do great things out there. Spread your light. Namaste.